sacrifice to save this world from terrorists and terrorism. As you all know, Pakistan is fighting war against terrorism since 2 decades, and Pakistan is a wall between the terrorist and the world. If this wall become weakened, the fire will not stop on our borders. This is a shared responsibility. Around 40 international terrorist groups based in Afghanistan is operating there. And after the withdrawal of US forces, they have ammunition and arms of millions of dollars in their hand. The terrorists used to kill people with guns, but now they also using digital social media platforms. There are many prescribed organizations using these platforms. They are under UN sanctions, USA, UK, and also banned in Pakistan. Under the National Action Plan, the second point is to take action against all terrorists or individuals who spread terrorism propaganda on the media and the social media. I am talking about all hardcore terrorist groups and terrorists who are operating their accounts on different social media platforms in freedom of speech. We want to block, remove the accounts. Second is to use AI measures to stop mirror accounts. Whenever an account is blocked or removed, in minutes they come up with the mirror accounts. And thirdly, most important is share information of the account holders, because they are also part and parcel of terrorist organizations and terrorists. Pakistan is fighting for our sovereignty as well as we are fighting for this world. So I once again want to request for the social media operators, social media platforms to cooperate with us on the blockage, removal of accounts, taking AI measures to stop mirror accounts, and to share information of account holders who are operating these accounts.
What's been happening recently and what we've actually uncovered or unearthed, that Pakistan has suffered immensely, not just in terms of human lives, but also economically, and the social losses are there. We've been at the forefront of this for the past over 2 decades now, and of course over 90,000 martyrs that we've had to endure through this being at the forefront of the fight against terror. Not just this, but of course we've seen there's been a trend on the social media applications and various apps that we've seen, whether that's X, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram, whether that's WhatsApp, whether that's Telegram. So all of these applications, because I think it's very important to state these applications as well. Like my colleague said, that we would definitely welcome these social media platforms to open up their offices for better coordination. Not just better coordination, but I think this will not just help us in having that coordination between these social media platforms and their offices and our law enforcement agencies, so as to not just address issues that are social issues, but also issues that are a lot more serious. And a serious issue is the presence of these terrorist organizations or prescribed organizations or sanctioned organizations on social media platforms. And if I could just name a few of them, of course, there are various groups that you're all well aware of. It's TTP, ISKP, which have obviously been both been labeled as prescribed organizations by not just Pakistan, but also the UN. Of course, then we have the BLA and the BLF, which has also been prescribed by Pakistan and has designated or has been designated as a terrorist group by both the United States and the United Kingdom as well. Pakistan has remained steadfast and committed to our resolve to combat terrorism and restoring stability. For us to highlight now the new trends that we've seen and we've faced, not just on ground, but also in the digital realm as well. And when I speak of the digital realm and these applications, a few days ago, my colleague, Senator TalalChaudhry Saab, he'd actually highlighted how these prescribed organizations have been working on not just through WhatsApp. They've been actively involved in recruiting new members. They've been actively involved in disseminating propaganda. These terrorist groups, they've significantly enhanced their social media presence. Whether these organizations operate under their own names or other various pseudonyms or acronyms, we've seen that, and they have been discovered and they have been unearthed. Obviously, it poses a threat to our nation, to our citizens, but also equally, it poses a greater threat to the rest of the world. Specifically, in terms of the legal situation or the legal realm, the Anti-Terrorism Act, specifically Section 11, it clearly violates Section 11 of the Anti-Terrorism Act. It also goes on to violate Section 8 and Section 9 of the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act. But also, like I mentioned, the international law and the international global norms as well, that we've actually unearthed or discovered a total of 481 social media accounts on various different platforms have been unearthed and have been identified to have belonged or to be belonging to these various organizations. They have been reported by various relevant law enforcement agencies, and of course we have taken up this issue with various platforms on which these terrorist organizations or prescribed organizations hold their presence on, so that they can actually initiate further necessary action. We would urge them to not only report these accounts, but also block these terrorist accounts. We would ask them and urge them to share the information about these account holders so that we can amplify our counterterrorism operations and our strategy in dealing with this new threat. Of course, we want them to implement stricter and stringent measures, which obviously includes through, like my colleague mentioned, through the use of AI, the algorithms out there, so that we can actually detect these accounts and more of these accounts than just 481 that we've just discovered through investigative methods through our law enforcement agencies. And also, like I mentioned earlier, and my colleague mentioned earlier as well, that we would really welcome all of these social media applications and these platforms to come to Pakistan to set up their offices so that we can have a better coordination. So we would urge them to establish their presence in Pakistan. Pakistan, of course, remains at the crucial front line as a state in the global war on terror. That there's been a spike in these terrorist activities and terrorist attacks, and our law enforcement agencies have been dealing with them swiftly. Lastly, I'd just like to reiterate that the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, of course, this means that clearly there is a resurge in terrorism for increased international cooperation. An increased international cooperation not just on ground, but also digitally and in the digital realm. So if there's any other question or any questions that you'd like to ask, we're here to answer that.
We don't want to stop, or we don't want to build walls against the freedom of speech. We want to build a wall against the terrorists and terrorism. So we need cooperation, and our request reports are all according to the laws community guidelines which are applicable in US, Europe and other countries. There is the numbers I have given you. They all belongs to these terrorist groups and organizations which are sanctioned by UN, US, UK, and there is no political parties account or political workers account. These are accounts of jet black terrorist organizations.
The international platforms such as X, WhatsApp, or Facebook, Instagram, any of these platforms, they decide not to come to Pakistan and establish their offices. That's why we've actually, through this presser, we would like to welcome them to come and establish, because obviously this is a mutual beneficial thing, not just for us in our country, but also for those platforms, because there's a huge population or a huge number of users that are from Pakistan. Prescribed organizations or these terrorist organizations or groups have now chosen to engage within the digital space or digital realm. That's why it's important more than ever before for these social media platforms and applications to actually come and establish their offices in Pakistan so that we can have better coordination. We want to create a safer, secure digital space, not just for our citizens as well, but also for other citizens of other countries as well. And we cannot allow such groups to operate within the digital space or the digital realm and use this as a new method to not just only recruit, but also to carry out their illegal activities that they have been doing in the recent past.
Pakistani authorities track them, trace them, but they can't take action because they don't have details of the account holders, number one. And most of the accounts come up again as a mirror account when social media platforms did not apply AI technologies to block the accounts. They block one account, and after the minutes, the mirror accounts come up. So that's why I make two requests. Number one, share the account holders information, and secondly, kindly they use AI technology to block the mirror accounts. We don't know they are operating from Afghanistan or Pakistan. Went to Afghanistan twice in last 2.5 months. Interior Minister recently last week went to the Afghanistan, and we want that Afghanistan cooperate with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
अहम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की जा रही है। तलाल चौधरी बैरिस्टर अकील मिल के बात कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ दीवारें बना रहे हैं, आज़ादी इज़हार को खामोश नहीं करा रहे।